The Suzuki Swift, £9,000 worth of fun and efficient supermini motoring.
The only fly in the ointment is that there's not much space in here to swing the proverbial cat, let alone carry 4 people and their luggage in comfort.
But that's where this comes in. It's called the Baleno, and it's the larger, more practical and more sensible sister car to the Swift. Think of it as a pair of hush puppies to the Swift's trainers, and you'll have an accurate idea of what the Baleno is all about.
Now let's start off in the back, because this is probably the main reason why you're going to be buying Baleno. Now, despite the fact this car goes up against the Ford Fiesta, the Vauxhall Corsa and indeed the Swift, the amount of space back here is equivalent to that of a car of the class above, cars like the Ford Focus for example. Now that seat is set up in my driving position. I'm just under 5'11", and look at the amount of space I've got. It's fantastic. The only slight gripe is the fact that the headroom is a little bit tight, but overall there's a huge amount of space back here, especially for a super mini. Now you can fit 3 people, just about. There's a small hump in the floor, which is really good to get your feet over, and it's very comfortable. We've got Isofix here and in the seat over here. And look at the size of these door bins. Look, I've got a 1.5 litre bottle of water there. Now if you thought that was good, it gets even better when we get round to the boot, because despite the fact that this car does go up against the Ford Fiesta, the amount of space you've got in the boot actually beats the Ford Focus, and it's only a smidge smaller than the VW Golf. The only real problem we've got is the fact that the boot lip is a little bit steep, and the fact these lights do impinge upon the opening, but overall it's very good. If I just put my suitcase in, there's loads of amount of space, and you can make it even bigger with the boot floor, because there's a higher and a lower setting, and of course you get 60/40 folding rear seats.
So it's very spacious, and the news gets even better because there's just 2 trims. Entry-level SZT gets 6 airbags, 16-inch alloys, HID headlights, aircon, sat-nav, DAB radio with USB and Bluetooth, rear privacy glass and front electric windows. Top spec SZ5 adds auto climate control, rear electric windows, LED rear lights, adaptive cruise control and automatic emergency braking. Overall, the Baleno comes very well equipped.
On top of all this kit, it's very easy to get comfortable. The steering wheel is fully height adjustable, and so is the driver's seat. There's also quite a bit of storage. There's a big door pocket here. I can just about fit a 1.5 litre bottle of water in there. There's a couple of cup holders here. There's a tray for your mobile phone and a row of charging ports. Under here, I've got space for a packet of sweets, and in the glove box, there's space for a large packet of crisps. There is one elephant in the room though, and that's to do with interior quality, because there's not one nice feeling piece of plastic in here. It's all very shiny and it just feels cheap. Having said that, the Baleno is probably like most Suzukis in the fact that it does feel quite well screwed together, and it will survive the test of time.
In keeping with the rest of the simple package, there are just 2 engine choices, a new 1 litre 3-cylinder booster jet petrol and a 1.2 litre petrol, which Suzuki calls a mild hybrid. There's a small electric motor that assists the petrol engine during startup and when pulling away.
For this type of money, I wouldn't bother with the hybrid. It's a little bit lethargic, and this 1 litre petrol engine is an absolute gem, with its booster jet name sounding like something from a 1950s comic book. It's actually quite a straightforward engine. 1 litre, 3 cylinders and 110 brake horsepower. It's punchy, makes a nice noise, and also a lot of fun.
And I really do mean punchy. 0 to 62 miles an hour in the 5-speed manual version takes just over 11 seconds, and drive it with gusto and you'll still manage 48.4 mpg. Drive economically in the high 50s is possible. If you don't want to change gears yourself, there is a 6-speed auto, but the manual is nicer to drive.
Despite it being the sister car to the Swift, the Baleno is nowhere near as rewarding to drive as the Swift. The steering is not quite as sharp, and the car rolls around a little bit, and the suspension is a little bit too firm for a car of this type, which is a bit of a shame. There's more too. I can just about turn a blind eye to the cheap plastics, but the design in here, it's like It's like something from about 10 years ago. And the touchscreen system is a bit slow and clunky, especially on the move. But the fact that it's got sat-nav and a touchscreen at this price point as standard is something I can overlook. The Baleno is a bit of a hidden gem in the supermini class, especially when it's fitted with the 1 litre petrol engine. Now, if you can get beyond the rather dull styling inside and out, you will end up with a car that is comfortable, practical, and one that should be cheap to run. Now, if you're interested in the Baleno, you need to check out its rivals, and you can do so by watching our review of the Skoda Fabia on the left or of the Hyundai i20 on the right. Click at the top for our latest video and on our logo to subscribe.